Hello, everyone. Hello to whoever is joining us right now for the first time. This is the first episode of Inbaal and Mozinah's Witchcraft in 10. We are going to spend just 10 minutes talking about witchcraft, specifically this episode, money magic. Mozinah is one of my favorite ladies in the psychic world. She has has been the figurehead of young psychics for a long time now. There she is.
Oh my God,
Hi. I'm just giving you a little intro because I think it's very important that everyone realizes what they are in the presence of.
Val.
So, this is Mozinah, and you see a very beautiful girl before you, but what you're actually looking at is a fourth generation psychic,
Yep.
fourth generation psychic down the female line, somebody who had the big privilege of being brought up in a holy spiritual household where her gifts were nurtured and not ridiculed, unlike many of us. And she has been in this field since birth and has been working professionally since age
I was
16.
16.
16,
Yeah.
that's right. So we have known each other ever since she was a child. When I
16.
had no long, yeah, I hadn't been a child for a long time then, and I feel like in many ways we developed alongside each other. So this is our little Insta mini series where we'll be going through all the tips and tricks
Hmm.
of of the basics of spell work, and this evening, money magic. Send it away. Take it away, girl. What are we gonna do?
So firstly, I just want to say hello to everybody who's watching, all 13 of you. Thank you. Tonight is really special for me. I've not really slept properly. I've had to ground myself all day because I love Inbal so much. She is the first witch who really encouraged me to find my path. She sent me postcards when I was a little girl asking how I was and giving me tips on crystals, which I still have. And along the years, as I've grown up, she's been there. She has been a solid. And Inbal, I don't know what I would have done without you. I think you're
I would say
amazing.
probably exactly the same, but I could have said the exact same thing to you. So I've brought up some props that I think are always good for money magic.
Mhm.
What I dragged out with me from my end is my big pentacle, because money magic in terms of actually bringing in the cash flow is of course the earth element, and one of the loveliest representations of the earth element on your altar would be your pentacle.
Mhm.
This one engraved by my mum, who is no longer with us, and so is very special to me. She didn't even realize that she was engraving it in earthy colors.
Oh, that's so lovely. It's a lovely story as well behind it.
Thank you. That this has seen many rituals, usually as place for cookies, but cookies are also earth elements.
Yes. Especially chocolate cookies.
I don't know why that would be, but it's true. Across the board, every ritual you go to, chocolate cookies. What have you got with you? For those of us who don't know, Mosina is a huge expert on crystals, and I'm actually looking forward to learning a thing or two about them. So, what do you, in your own personal practice, use for money magic? Do you know what? It's almost ridiculous for me to say money magic because, as witches, the actual number in the bank doesn't make any sense.
No.
But what we do magic for is abundance, which is a representation of energy.
Hmm.
It's prosperity, which equals with our personal freedom to be able to do things, to be able to, take days off and go on holiday and pay pricey entries to sacred sites and so on.
So the crystal that I use,
Yes, I actually have no earth at all in my chart. So I'm always looking up to people who are experts at crystals.
well, I personally use citrine as my top one for
Yeah.
abundance and money matters. What I love to do is set up a little crystal grid, which I have done here. So I'm going to awkwardly tip the camera.
Yeah,
And
that's
hopefully,
right.
can you see that okay?
Yes, very clear and very wonderful. Oh, that's such a lovely grid.
So that is it's actually my Lunata grid I've set up in memory of the sun god Lu. But it can also be used for abundance and prosperity because you have all the right crystals there, you have all the right colours, all the right energy. My top tip that I always give to everybody is if you're doing a little crystal grid, pop a £1 coin in the centre and put a piece of citrine on top.
See, now no one will believe that we did not plan this because you've got your busy life and I've got my busy life, and we were like, I'll see you at 8.
Well, there you go. I mean, it's all in the £1 coin. What can I say? But
It's
that is
called
what
a sovereign for a reason.
exactly. And you've got with the £1 coin, you have the gold element there as well, which is so important, especially in abundance spell work. So that's why you would work with a lot of golds and oranges and yellows. You can also use jade and green aventurine if you pop a piece of jade in your purse. The Chinese are great believers that jade brings you finances and luck and money. And it's also a really good luck crystal in general. So is green aventurine. It's really preference. You know, you've got green, yellow, and orange to work with in terms of monetary colours, I guess, for spell work. But definitely citrine is my favourite. If you pop a little piece of citrine in the far left-hand corner of your house, that is said to bring abundance and wealth in your door as well. But I think one thing that I'm sure you'll agree with me, Inbaal, it's important to really look at the blocks that's stopping you from receiving abundance. So get creative, work on the solar chakra, work with your creative energy, release that, because you may well need a vision to help you think, so that is what's going to bring in the money through the door.
I really agree with that because I think in many ways, citrine wouldn't be the top pick if you were just after the, dollar value.
Yeah.
But citrine awakens the communication. So I've actually got a big hunk of citrine, that raw citrine that I got from a friend who found some on the forest floor in Australia, right on my computer. I have like a big computer like old people have, right on my computer. And when I used to do sort of money magic, when I had nothing, it would be the tiger's eye and, of course, the jade, the things that are more obvious, but it's the citrine that gets your creative juices flowing. And then, especially for those of you who have businesses and you're thinking, what is my unique selling point? The citrine will tell you.
Absolutely. And one that I would really, really recommend, it's not an obvious one, is sunstone, because sunstone has that gorgeous, I mean, I love working with the masculine energy in witchcraft. I just find it so invigorating and powerful. And with sunstone, certainly with the Celtic mythology that I work with, Lou, I mean, he has his anger issues, and that's fine. But he is very strong and he's very motivated. And sometimes it can be hard to really motivate yourself to find the things that you need to be doing in terms of your work. So sunstone, again, works with the solar and the sacral, getting your creative juices flowing, but it's going to give you a backbone to actually get up in the morning and do it.
Absolutely. And that actually links with exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Again, I can't believe we didn't plan it, but witchcraft is witchcraft. So of course we'd say the same thing. Because I am huge on days of the week. I love my astrology background. I think when you're doing prosperity magic, you're doing it for growth. So you'll do it during the waxing moon, but also you want to get your days right. So you would do your money magic maybe on Thursday for wealth, but then on Sunday for prosperity,
Wow.
because Sunday really is the wow day. It's the sun. It
Mhm.
doesn't get bigger or hotter than the energy of the sun. And if what you want is to, watch yourself walking down the gangplank of a cruise ship that you hired all for yourself with your big sunglasses on and your teeny tiny suitcase on, it's Sunday magic, baby. And when we're getting to the nitty gritty detail, let me share a quick thing that I did a year and a half ago, just before going on social media, that I think we can all agree has been all right for me.
Mhm.
I took this green, yes, children's food container, this green thing, because green is the best color for magic. I filled it with some water and some fresh basil leaves. But if you don't have fresh basil leaves,
Uh-huh.
put on your mask and go down the shop. I know, I really hope this joke ages really fast. And did that on a Thursday, kept it closed till a Sunday, and then sprinkled it all around my work area. And that's worked well.
Mhm.
So we've got Sunday, we've got Thursday, we've got basil, we've got green. If you go in a witch shop and they happen to have pre-blended prosperity incense, not just from anyone, from people who really know what they're doing, you feel like you link with their energy. Pre-blended is great. And I'm also huge on numbers. And normally in magic, you would do something 3 times or 5 times or 7 times or 9 times, special numbers. The only exception for me is money magic, where you do something 4 times, because four is so stable
Mhm.
and normal and businesslike. Or if you want to go nuts, 8. And when I set my work as what you used to call it, limited company,
Mhm.
about 20 years ago, the taxation was different, so that it was worth more to set it as a limited company. I set it up on the 8th of the 8th. And when my papers came back, I didn't know that it would be the 8th of the 8th. When my papers came back and it said 8 and 8 on them, I thought, yeah, that's definitely a good sign.
And also, you are in the planetary time of the sun, which
Yes,
correlates to it. Just it all comes back full circle, doesn't it?
it really does. And I think as we go through the weeks of introducing sort of different approaches to different types of spells, anyone watching will be able to creatively put their own spells together, which is really what it's about. You can follow all the ready-made spells, but really what you're wanting is to put your own stamp on them and develop your own way of taking a little bit from each approach and creating one that is completely yours.
Oh, I completely agree. I couldn't agree more. I think the real thing for me with spell books, magic books, I love reading them. Absolutely love them. But I always think that you should take the information, obviously very graciously, we're very thankful that you have it there, but use it to craft your magic because you are essentially your magic. You are the person who's going to bring it to you with everything that you're working with. And I do think, especially a lot of new witches, baby witches, they feel like they're going to do something wrong. And that fear, me and you will obviously understand, but I think it's nice just to let them know that relax, really let your heart guide you, listen to your intuition, work with your means. You don't need to have an altar full of fancy stuff. When I was starting out, I had a candle, a pen, and a paper. And to be honest, not much has changed. It's what I'm comfortable with. Um, but
No,
I
no,
do.
I couldn't agree more. All of my witchcraft supplies, except for the big, ironware, all my witchcraft supplies all fit in that box there. And well, I guess there's also things scattered around everywhere, but the basics are your little candle, something pretty to put your water in if you want to. You can get on with stuff. I think I'm looking around for it, but I think I've still got the same box of very basic candles that I got 20 years ago in a major furniture retailer. And then when you need special candles to do special stuff, they'll come to you. You'll find them. Magic is magic, and
Exactly.
it's everywhere.
It so is. I do think as well, one thing definitely important to note out, we've mentioned the sun, and the sun is amazing. But if you're doing like a progressive spell for abundance, maybe you want to do it over the course of the month, for example. I would definitely start with a waning moon to let go of any blocks, anything that's kind of holding you back, any fears, any insecurities, and doubts as to why you think you can't do it. Work with that into the dark moon, let it go. And then when your new moon comes, it's time to plant the seed of what it is you want to do. As you get into waxing, it's progressing, and then your full moon is your delivery. This is when the moon is at her fullest. She's giving to us so we can receive. And I love to look at spell work that way. When I do spells, I try to let them go through the whole lunar cycle so they're properly charged up. And especially with abundance, I find that works so well because you're just charging and charging and charging that energy up, and then when it's delivered, it's like, poof, there you go.
Yeah.
And you think, wow, I did that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think in the beginning, it's so overwhelming. You don't really think I did that. You think, oh gosh, now I'm going to have to live on 2 hours sleep a night. And then you look back and you're like, oh, wait, I asked for all this. Fantastic. So we don't want to give too much of a good thing. We'll be back here next week, perhaps with love magic.
I think it'd be rude not to.
Yeah, it's such a popular one. We want to cover all the basics. We're here for 5 weeks, but we'd very much like to hear what you want to know, what you think about it, your own experiences with magic as well, from the sublime to the ridiculous. It's all valid. So we will see each other and you hopefully next week. I'm going to post it on my IGTV. Hopefully it's shareable so that you can post it on yours. We don't know yet.
We don't know, we'll find out.
We'll find out. There'll be one way to find out. Thank you so much for joining us. Awesome working with you, girl.
Oh, Inbaal, it's a pleasure. Love you loads.
Love you loads. See ya.